Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the show. For those of you tuning in for the first time, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Justin Archer, aka The Posture Guy, your number one source on pain, posture, and performance. And today, we're going to set the record straight once and for all by correcting some common myths about the symptoms of aging. And this one really gets my blood boiling because I would say far too often when I ask people what they believe the cause of their pain is, I always hear back, it's their age. It's, well, Justin, I'm getting older and I'm, fill in the blank, 50, 65, 72, 84, 92, whatever years old. I've even heard the age card being played by a 38-year-old. And I'm like, when did 38 become old? But I kid you not, someone told me they thought they were in pain because they were old at 38. And it's unfortunate because even when they say that, I automatically know that they don't really internally believe that. It's just the only answer they've been told by doctors and the internet and TV and commercials and all these other things. And so they don't really have any alternative. There's no other option. But I know they don't believe it themselves. Otherwise, why are they there meeting with me, whether in person or online? Because, I don't have a DeLorean or time machine. I can't take them back in time. I can't make them younger. And so a lot of times I'll even pose a question to kind of poke holes in their, in their thought process and in their beliefs. And so, for example, I remember once I had a woman who was 73 who came to see me with left knee pain. And when I asked her, I said, well, why do you think your knee's hurting you? I said, well, Justin, I'm 73 now. I'm getting old. And I think it's just, it's just wearing away. It's old age. And I said, okay, interesting. Any problems with your right knee? And she said, no, the doctors checked it out. It's fine. It works perfectly. It doesn't hurt at all. Oh, but this left knee, it is just a pain in the, what? And goes on about complaining about her left knee. And I said, well, okay, by, using your own words, okay, you think your left knee is in pain because it's 73 years old. She goes, yes. And I said, okay, well then how old is your right knee? And I saw her kind of choke on her own words. She went, what? I never thought about it that way. And I just kind of smiled and I waited for her to catch up and she was like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense. I said, no, of course it doesn't. Why would your left knee hurt at 73 when your right knee is just as old? I mean, and I kind of joked with her. I said, I hope for your mom's sake that she wasn't in labor for more than a year. I mean, if she was, God bless her soul. But it's like, no, you came out at the same time. You've had two legs your whole life. Well, and two knees. Why is one knee hurting you more than the other? And, once she kind of had that aha moment in her head, she was like, all right, well, what? It seems like there's other, things that can be done, because obviously, okay, I'm not going to be getting any younger. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be older. Well, what can we do about this? And what I reminded her, and what I want to remind you, is that aging is the process of getting older. The key word there being process. It's not an event. Your body does not have a timer inside of it that says, oh, you've turned 50, now it's time to start breaking down and your joints wearing out and you waking up, stiff and achy and your vision going and, all these other symptoms of aging start to occur. No, your body doesn't know how old it is. All it knows, what we call aging or the process of getting older, what determines the rate of the aging process is your environment and the stimulus that you subject your body to. And by subject, I don't mean in a good or bad way. It could be good or it could be bad. Your body to on a day-to-day basis. Remember, our bodies are stimulus-reacting organisms. So things like breathing, hydration, nutrition, and movement all have a great impact on our aging process. And those are all things that are within your power to change. You can't change time. I wish I could. I wish I had some answer for you. But like I said, I don't have a time machine. I don't have a DeLorean. Sure enough, when the sun rises tomorrow, you're going to be 24 hours older than you are today, than you were yesterday, and so on and so forth. That we can't do anything about, which is another reason why I hate the what I call playing the age card. Because when someone says that, one, it's usually because that's all they've been told. They don't know there's an alternative. But when they say that, when you say, oh, it's just because of how old I am, what you're really doing is washing your hands of responsibility and saying, well, my health is out of my hands. It's just because I'm getting older. There's nothing I can do about it. And then that leads to words like can't, won't, don't, which then makes you stop trying new things that could potentially have a positive outcome for your health, that could make you better and feel better. But because you believe that it's your age, again, now there's walls up, there's a barrier. It's a very closed-minded approach now to your health and going, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to get older and die, so what? But when you look at it, okay, again, let's change that angle maybe 10 degrees to, do you really believe it's your age? That one part of your body is wearing down faster than another part of your body simply because of the number of days you've been on this planet? Or could it be something else? And a common answer I get when I ask people that question, well, your left knee is 73 years old, how old is your right? Sometimes people, again, are kind of taken back and go, oh, I never thought about it that way. Other times people have the knee-jerk answer of, oh, because I use that side more. And I said, okay, well now that's a completely different discussion to have of, rather than, okay, how old you are, to, well, you have two legs and two knees. Why are you using one significantly more than the other? That's a case of imbalance, muscular and joint imbalances. And that we could do something about. Now we're empowered. Now we can do something about it rather than, oh, it's because you've been, again, on the earth for 73 years and tomorrow it's going to be one day more. That we have no power and we can't do anything. So understand that there are things you can change in your life that can positively affect your aging process, what some people call anti-aging. And it's funny, where I got the idea, well, I've always, talked to people, my clients, about, using the age cards as an excuse to why they're in pain. But a few weeks ago, I was having a discussion with a woman, her name is Aline Bergen, and she runs a blog called Ageless Beauty, which is an anti-aging blog. I'll put a link to down below, which is really great. And she signed up for my newsletter, which at the end of this video, you'll have a chance to as well. And in the first email, I always send out, it asks, where you're from and what pains and or physical limitations are you currently struggling with, why you're looking to work on your posture. And I actually have it here. She also later featured me in like a guest blog post. And she said, when we first connected, Justin asked why I wanted to work on my posture. I said that I want to remain independent as long as humanly possible, to stand tall, heft my own bags, including 80-pound bags of salt, and 50-pound bags of dog food. Justin loved my definition of independent living. And I remember saying this to her in an email. I said, most consider being able to go to the bathroom by themselves as independent living. Now you read that and you think, okay, well, how old is she? She's actually 67, so pushing 70. And again, most people are looking to, well, I want to be able to, read a book without pain. And I want to, be able to go to the bathroom myself and, go for walks and stuff like that. Here she is wanting to lift 80-pound bags of salt. I know 20-year-olds that have a problem with that. So what I love is her mental and emotional attitude she's approaching aging with. It's not something to be feared of. She wants to, she knows she's going to get older. We all are. But, she is setting the bar a little higher for herself. And I think that's something we should all do. Look at Jack LaLanne, or look at, my oldest client I worked with was 94. And when she came in, I asked her, well, why, are you here wanting to work on your posture and everything? And she said, actually, it was another knee pain client. She said, my knee is hurting, and I want to get back to riding my bicycle. And 2 weeks later, she was at 94, going on 95. I mean, how wonderful is that? So those are just a few examples of people who said, yeah, okay, I'm getting older. I'm 65, then 70, 75, 80. But I'm not going to let that, interfere with the quality of life I want for myself. I'm not going to give up and just say, oh, it's my age. I'm going to do something about it. So down below, what I've done is put together a list of symptoms that are usually associated with aging, and then categorize them under stimulus or stimuli, I don't know whichever is the correct word, but different types of stimulus, I'll put it that way, that you can alter in your day-to-day life to have a positive outcome, relieve or actually eliminate those symptoms of aging. So we've got breathing, hydration, nutrition, and movement, or movement/posture. And so you'll see, for example, I made a list of them here for me as well. Under breathing, and I'll just use this, I won't go through all the symptoms because that would take forever. But like under breathing, there's headaches and migraines, lack of energy, and poor vision. These are all symptoms that usually people chalk up to, again, I'm just getting older. But when you think about it, I would say as young as 18, I see people start to breathe incorrectly. And what I mean by breathing incorrectly is, and this is a common denominator among all my clients I see coming in, it doesn't matter if they have shoulder pain, hip pain, knee, foot, doesn't matter, is they're all breathing with their chest and shoulders and traps and upper back rather than their diaphragm, which is their main breathing muscle. So when they breathe, they take a larger than normal breath. It looks something like this. And it's a very inefficient way of breathing. Now, don't get me wrong, that's fine to breathe if you're sprinting away from a lion chasing you or something like that. But I'm talking just in their day-to-day life, if you're looking at them and having a nice casual conversation, that's how they're breathing. And they go, well, man, why do I have this tight neck and traps and shoulders and everything? I go, well, think about it. The average human takes 22,000 breaths per day. If you're doing this 22,000 times per day, well, no wonder you're tight and sore up there. But also think of it this way. You should be using your diaphragm, your main breathing muscle in your stomach area, to be breathing. So you're breathing inefficiently. You're not getting the proper amount of blood and oxygen to your brain and to your head. So that's going to result in headaches and migraines, which are basically your brain starving for blood and or oxygen. That's what a headache or migraine is. Lack of energy. Well, obviously, if you're not getting enough blood and oxygen to your brain, it's not going to function properly. And sometimes trying to just get a thought through or trying to remember something is trying to push a thought through like thick yogurt. You know that feeling I'm talking about. Poor vision. Well, for your eyes to properly dilate and focus, you need blood and oxygen for those muscles. Again, if you're not breathing correctly, then your vision is going to suffer for it. So those are all things, again, examples that, again, most people just chalk up to, well, I'm getting older. These things wear out and everything. It's not that it wears out. It's you have to care for it. It's just like a car. Some people on certain car companies have better history of reliability than others. But you know what? Even the worst reliable car, if you really take care of it, will last you over 100,000 miles. It's the same thing with the human body. I can't believe that there are people now in their 40s who are getting hip replacements. I kid you not, I've known people who at 45, 48 have hip replacements. And I'm going, why? Our hips are designed to last 100 plus years. Assuming we use them correctly. We move them properly. We're breathing properly. We're hydrated enough. We're eating the right things. So again, I'm not going to go over all these symptoms, but by each stimulus, breathing, hydration, nutrition, and movement, I'm going to put a link to each one because I've done an independent post on proper hydration. I've done another post on proper nutrition. And each of those, after you watch those videos and read those articles, should explain how they can benefit the symptoms that are listed below. Okay, so check those out. The only one that's not going to have a link is to the movement and posture, which I think already I've kind of made it a point as to how, the more you move and the better aligned posture you have, how that's going to benefit things like, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, general muscle pain and chronic inflammation, lack of energy. If your posture's off, you're fighting your own body's mechanics, so you're going to use more energy, so you're going to be generally more tired. Obviously, if you don't move as much, your posture is going to suffer for it. You're going to kind of be stooped over. You'll have loss of height, chronic stiffness or lack of flexibility. We all know the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. Decreased in libido, poor vision, we already kind of went over that one, decrease in quality of sleep, deterioration of bone health. That's a really important one because a lot of people just think, bones get weak as you age. Well, again, it's what are the position of the bones? I always remind people, gravity can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If all your load-bearing joints, your shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles are vertically stacked when you stand, that's going to strengthen the bones. But for instance, if you're kind of that, what most people call the stereotypical kind of old person's posture, rounded back, stooped over, maybe using a cane, hobbling around, well, think about it. All that all the gravity is kind of causing you to implode inward on yourself and creating a lot of stress on your back, your knees, your hips, and all your other joints in your body. So then you're going to be actually more prone to breaking bones or just general poor bone health. Slower metabolism. I wouldn't go out and market postural alignment therapy as a way to lose weight, but if your, say, one quadrant of your body, your lower right leg, is not working the way it should, well, it's almost like a V8 car running only on 6 cylinders. It's not going to burn as much fuel, which is good if we're talking about fuel economy, but bad if we're talking about your metabolism. You engage that right lower part of your body on, all the muscles working correctly, your posture improves, and as a result of that, your metabolism regulates itself 25%, and now you're burning more calories, ideally more fat, if you're eating a proper diet, so then it's easier to burn fat. So those are just a few ways, but there's more, the ways that movement and better posture can improve the aging process. And you can look through my site, and there's plenty more. Look through all the articles. If any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. You can call, email me. Same thing with the hydration and nutrition. I'll quickly touch on those for you real quick. Hydration, to improve the symptoms that are under there, you want to shoot for a bare minimum of half your body weight in ounces of water per day. If you want to learn more about how hydration can improve your health, click on the link next to hydration, so you can see that independent post on there. As far as nutrition, you want to eat an anti-inflammatory diet. The best one that I found that allows for that, as well as provides good energy throughout the day. You can lose weight on it, build muscle, gain strength, all simultaneously, is what's called the bulletproof diet. It's kind of like a paleo diet, but slightly upgraded. Think of it as paleo 2.0. And I just did a post on that last week, so you can click on the link next to nutrition and check that out for yourself as well. So take your time, look over all those. I know there's a lot of information there to be thrown at you at once, but I think the more you educate yourself on these stimuli, I still don't know if I'm saying that right, but we'll go with stimuli, breathing, hydration, nutrition, and movement. The more, like I said, you can educate yourself on those things, the more power you're going to have to dictate your aging process. So it's important, I think, that you take the time to go through those. And the more that you know, I guarantee you, the more peace of mind you're going to have going forward into whether you're going into your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or your hundreds, which is what I'm shooting for. Not any records, just over 100. If it's 101, I'm okay with that. All right, anyways, thank you for joining me inside today's video. I appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, like I said, please leave them in the comment section below. I think I already told you before, but make sure to check out Aline's blog at Ageless Beauty. Some really good stuff there. And I look forward to seeing you inside the next video. All right? Until then, take care and keep moving.